Hi, this is Zach Meir with the Bulletin Board Heroes weekend edition here at Vox Markets. It is Sunday, the 16th of January, starting off with Afritin, where the Epic code ATM may be appropriate. Sounds as though and looks as though the shares are starting to push higher. The feeling was that a break of that line of resistance from May would be the trigger for a decent move to the upside, and that's proven to be the case. We've got a sharply rising 50-day moving average, which is also helpful. V-shaped bull flag in the near term and support above the 200-day moving average. About 5.5 pence, which is where the 200-day line is. We're looking for 8 pence as soon as the end of next month, and hopefully much more over the course of 2022. A lot of mini mining stocks in the top 20 review that I did just between Christmas and New Year, and I think it was the right thing. If only on the basis of inflation, not even metals demand, but the inflation I think would be enough to get the metals prices and then help the mining shares head higher. Another mining play coming up is African Pioneer, and here we've also already had a charting breakout. We had the bear trap from below 2 pence, which was last month, so that was identified, and we've risen well from there. Another signal on Friday with the break of that resistance line there from June. That was around 2.5 pence, and above 2.5 pence, looking for 3.5 pence, and hopefully even more on African Pioneer over the next 4 to 6 weeks. Only back below 2.25 really at the moment, really delaying the upside scenario. That was the last swing low. Going into the oil and gas area, Advanced Energy, there was a little flurry towards the end of the session on Friday, but we've already had a decent build-up in recent days. Little bear trap there on the, what day was that? The 7th of January, so a little bear trap below the December support. Always worth looking out for those sort of brief bear traps, but that just ironed out the floor of that rising trend channel from April. That's around 3.5 pence, and above that we're looking for 6 pence as soon as the end of next month, maybe even sooner. And the weekly close above the resistance of the last 2-3 months, a very positive development as well. Moving along to a stock which I've used to cover quite a lot initially when it came to market, but sort of got sort of missed out on it recently. Here we've had a break for Bradda of the August resistance line there at 8.3 pence, and that's given a decent boost to the stock. Current situation is that we could hit as high as 18 pence, which is that July resistance line projection, maybe by the end of next month, especially while we remain above the initial resistance for the shares, which was around 10.5. So above 10.5, looking for 18 plus by the end of next month, and good to see both the 50 and 200-day moving averages currently rising in parallel. That's effectively like a golden cross and should be appreciated as such. Onto Corcel, which is a request from an esteemed Twitter follower. Here we can see that we should have really followed the shares a little while ago. We've broken that line of resistance there from the end of July and the 50-day moving average at 1.25 pence. Then this month we gapped up through the 200-day moving average, which is a great signal. We've got the 50 and 200-day moving averages rising in parallel, heading towards a golden cross perhaps by the end of this month. The run up to a golden cross tends to be the strongest part in the technical cycle, so that's exciting. And the upside, while we're above 1.5 pence, is 2.75, which is the top of the rising trend channel from the beginning of last year. So lots to play for and lots to go for there at Corcel. Stock of the week, I think, by quite a margin, is Eurasia Mining, or was Eurasia Mining, and hopefully with stock of next week as well. I think on Wednesday I said that the shares have finally broken that line of resistance from the September at 25 pence, and that was a good indicator of what was to come. We had the Tier 1 nickel resource confirmed just after that to end the week, and a clear break of the resistance line there to close at 27 pence on Friday. So it looks as though the logjam of recent months on the Eurasia chart is over, and any doubters in terms of the fundamentals, what the company actually has under the bonnet, I think should be quashed by the latest nickel news. In fact, nickel is apparently the biggest single asset the company has. So everything to look forward there. Above 25 pence, looking for 45 pence, perhaps even as soon as the end of next month. Ideally, we get a sort of the type of vertical move that we saw back in September for the rest of January. Moving along to a stock which is not quite so glamorous in terms of its recent action, but we do have a trendline break there on Eve Sleep, also breaking the 50-day moving average. It's always a good combo there. And above 2.9 pence, looking for a retest of the 5 pence area post-July resistance. I think that just looking for 4 pence is probably a bit weak, so 5 pence there, plus post-July, in fact, post-April resistance there for Eve Sleep, and that could occur even as soon as the end of next month. If you're cautious of the shares, maybe you wait for an end-of-day close or a weekly close above the 200-day moving average at 3 3.75 pence before pressing the buy button, but looks as though the shares are on their way. I suppose the novelty mover of the recent past has been Tintra. I think we did cover it at various stages, but in the recent past, we've had this vertical move through towards the 150 area. A little bull flag there and a bull flag breakout, so right through £1.80 and above £1.80. The target initially was 260, which is that line of resistance from July. If you're a fan of the shares and you want to know what's after 260, then I think it could be as high as £3.50, which is a September resistance line projection. So we basically got 180, 260 and 350 on the roadmap for Tintra at the moment. Any dips towards 180 probably the best entry point at the moment, and really well below 150, killing the idea of an ongoing re-rate for the shares. Stock which doesn't get much airtime is Tiger Royalties, but looking interesting in the sense that shares very oversold now. The RSI basically back below 10, so around the 5 level out of 100. So one would expect some kind of reaction pretty soon. If you're cautious, I suppose the easiest thing is to wait for an end-of-day close above the 50-day moving average, currently at 0.31. The shares haven't been above the 50-day line since June, and that would be a reasonable technical trigger if you're looking to catch that stock on any retracement that it has. Finishing off with stock which is also requested, which I haven't looked up for quite a while, Vector Capital. Here you can see that we bounced off the 40 pence level again, also filled the gap from November. About 40 pence on an end-of-day close basis, looking for a retest of July resistance towards 60 pence maybe over the next 1 to 2 months. But obviously that stock, not exactly the most liquid in town, may not be for everyone over the near term, but at least worth pointing out after it's been requested. That's it from me today. More updates during the week.